Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Freakin Uncultured Podcast. My name is Chandler, and I'm joined by my buddy, as always, Andy, here with me today. Andy, you doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. It's cold out. I don't know if you're aware of that. Apparently, it's really cold outside right now.
Oh,
So,
yeah, no, my toesies were freezing today at work, let me tell you. Uh, but let's do something a little different this time around, though, man, opening up an episode. Let's start with some small talk. How you been? What you been up to lately? You
good,
play
man.
anything? Watch anything?
No, I hadn't had a chance to really watch anything. I know I think the last time we talked on the missing episode, the lost episode, we'll call it, ironically enough. I
Yep.
told you my wife was watching Lost and caught up with that, and she got back into Big Bang and stuff like that. So nothing new watching. I've been playing a lot of Black Myth Wukong.
Mm-hmm.
Still not not my
Not
game.
feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I think it's good. I don't think it would be up for my game of the year conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's worth playing. I think everyone should check it out, but it's not better than Stellar Blade in my opinion. It's not better than Silent Hill in my opinion. It's not better than Final Fantasy Rebirth in my opinion. So I
Man,
know
everybody's going to be coming after you now.
controversial. I mean I get it, but this is coming from someone that just put almost 400 hours in Elden Ring and Platinum did, and all the other Souls games I've put hundreds of hours in. It's just Black Myth's not it, man.
You know what? That's fair. I feel like if anybody gets a say, it should be you.
Fair enough. I'll go with that. But yeah, no, it's good. I still want you to play it. I want you to check it out. I think it's something you would enjoy. But
Well, I mean, I've dabbled in it already, but
I know you played a
I'm
little
not.
bit, but I haven't heard you mess up or talk about it in a bit, so I didn't know if you've had a chance to do any more.
Yeah, no, I haven't. So honestly, if I've been playing anything here recently, it's something I can just kind of hop in and do a short burst of, and then hop out. So basically, Sonic Frontiers and Fortnite, and that's been about it here lately.
Well, the real question is, why aren't you playing more Balatro or Balatro?
Um, because it's on my, I only own it on my phone currently.
Ah,
Uh, Yeah, and I don't, and while I don't mind playing games on my phone, I don't prefer playing games on my phone.
that's fair.
Uh, but trust me, I have looked into finding a PS5 copy multiple times now, and I've been this close to pulling the trigger multiple times now on just ordering a copy. Uh, but I got some other stuff I got to take care of first, though.
Fair. Well, if you're
So,
looking for one, let me know. I will keep an eye out for you too.
okay.
But yeah, so
So,
that's my small talk, man. I don't have a whole lot going on. Life is life right now, but it is what it is.
mhm.
So, what about you? What's going on for you, man?
Man, I've already kind of told you a little bit. Work's been a little slow because of the wacky weather that we got this week, so I've been watching some horror movies at work.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 5 movies so far. I've watched Barbarian, which is worth anybody's time if you're a horror movie fan. It's a good movie. Cobweb, which is boring, and it actually made me laugh, not because it was even trying to be funny, just because of how ridiculous some things were. Like there's one scene
Yeah.
where it's implied somebody gets eaten, but it's like the Minecraft eating sound effect. And and I laughed so hard whenever that scene happened. Uh,
Okay. I mean
and
that
then
works.
oh yeah, and then today I watched the 1982 The Thing.
Nice.
Since
Classic.
it's all snowing out and everything.
Yep.
Also because they just added it on Shutter, and I was like, ooh. So
Well, now
um,
you got to play that
well,
new game that just came out. They just
I know
remade the thing.
I've been eyeballing it, man. And then what was the other two that I watched? I watched Baghead, which is a Shutter original.
All
It was
right.
actually it was fun actually.
Huh.
It's worth one watch. And then I watched Malum, which is the pseudo sequel reboot to Night Shift.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
basically, the director got a bigger budget and had the opportunity to go and redo the movie and everything. Uh, but it's not a complete remake beat by beat. They did add some new scenes that I thought were really cool. But I'm gonna be honest, if you want to watch the superior movie between the two, uh, watch Last Shift.
Okay. Okay.
Did I say Night Shift?
I think you said night shift.
Okay, it's called Last Shift, not Night
Okay.
Shift.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to watch a superior movie between the two, stick to Last Shift because it is honestly, if you were to watch the two of them, it's a thing of less is more, and Last Shift does that better than Malum does. Malum shows its hand way too early and gives you way too many cards.
Okay.
So
I don't
but
know
yeah,
why you keep mentioning that, and it just makes me think of this is completely random, but a buddy and I were talking last night. And did you ever play the old Deception games back in the day, or like Deception on the PS4? I know Deception 4 was the last one they did.
oh no, you told me about them, but I haven't played them.
Yeah, so I found out that they did a old spin-off of
Hmm.
those, and it was on the PS2 called Trapped. And I've seen the game a million times. Like, I've seen that game, and anytime I saw it, I was like, oh, that's weird. It's named after that band, Trapped, and I was just made the joke out of it. But apparently, it's a spin-off to the Deception games. Like, it technically is the second game in the series, which is
Okay.
weird because the first and the second, and technically the third one, were all PS1 games. But Trapped is a PS2 game.
Hmm.
So they did 1, 2, and 3, and then they re-released 2 on the PS2.
Weird.
But it's not a, it's the second game, but it's the sequel to the
Mhm.
second game. But it's the same game as what they released in Japan for number 2.
Weird.
Like, my buddy was telling me about this, and I'm just like, none of this makes sense. So I look like the guy who's like drawing lines on the wall
Oh,
with the
Charlie
yard.
Day
Yes,
from
like,
Always Sunny. Yeah.
yep, I'm doing that with like, all right, this game's here, this like, but this connects here, and it's like, no, this doesn't make. So I'm just going like crazy with it, and I'm like, now I gotta dig and do some more.
You said it reminds you of the band Trapped, and so now I'm just like imagining you in a game store and somebody walks up, "Can I help you, sir?" "How strong to take your life?"
Would you like to pre-order that? But no, like I said, sorry, random tangent, but that, I don't know, it made me think of that for some weird reason.
Well, hey, that was some good small talk then, man.
Good deal, good deal.
So, all right, well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, and that is going to be something that has been all over the internet here lately. Uh, whether or not it's legally on the internet is something of a different discussion, but we're not going to focus on that. We're not lawyers. I mean, we're hardly even podcasters.
That's
So,
fair.
yeah, but we are going to be talking today about the Nintendo Switch 2. What are some of the things that we would like to see it do? What are some of the features that we would like to see on it? What are some of the games that we would like to see at launch or later on down the line? That is what we're going to be talking about today.
Nintend's worst kept secret.
Yeah,
In all fairness.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's been a rough one for him.
I wish a little part of me wishes it was called the Switch U.
No. The Switch U2.
The Switch U2.
He's got Bono's face on the back. I don't know. Anyway, but no, it's this has been a rough one for Nintendo, man. Like,
Man, the Bono joke kind of hit me pretty good. Now I'm just imagining like every Switch 2, whenever you open it up, it just plays with or without you.
I mean, that's a better song in my opinion, because I was thinking you open the box and just start singing Sunday Bloody Sunday, and I was just like, that's a terrible that'd be terrible to open up the. It's a Tuesday. Why is it playing like so?
Or that or Vertigo.
But yeah, no, this one's been a rough launch. I mean, I guess it's not really a launch, but like the embargo for them hasn't gone well for sure, man. I mean, obviously some of these companies have signed NDAs and, you know, agreed to not release any of this info, and it just seems like all of the info has gotten out. I mean, the last person to say anything right now has been Nintendo, so.
Yep. And I don't know if you've seen here recently, but there's been speculation that they're gearing up for the announcement here soon, because over on Nintendo's Twitter page, or X, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
they changed their banner where Mario and Luigi are facing backwards like this, like they're presenting something. So like they're fixing to announce something and be showing something off. I think it's kind of a stretch, but people
Yeah.
can think whatever they want, because I mean, you know, we're going to be getting an announcement before the end of March regardless. So
Well, see, so I don't know how true it is. Again, everything is rumor right now. We don't have anything official on it. But I saw someone was talking, and they're a credible source. Like I don't remember exactly who it was, but I remember seeing it, and I was like, wow. I mean, if he's saying that, like, I have a reason to believe it. But they were talking about Nintendo making the announcement by the end of January and it releasing in March.
Interesting.
So again, I don't know if it's true. Again, it's all hypothetical, but I was like, that would be nice. That'd be nice.
The Switch did release in March.
Yep.
So,
and Nintendo's not known for like doing long release windows with hardware, if I remember correctly. It's not something like, hey, this is going to come out in 2037. Like they're usually like pretty quick about it. So
they're like, this Nintendo alarm clock, you like it? Well, it's available now.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of the best part with the Directs, man, is anytime a Nintendo Direct happens, it's like, this is available today after the Direct. It's not like every other one where it's 2027 or 2028. Like so Nintendo's pretty good about stuff like that. So hopefully we'll see something soon.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. So, well, let's hop into it, Andy.
Cool.
What's a feature that you want to see for the Nintendo Switch 2? What's your number one thing that you would love to see this console do?
So the first thing I think hands down I'd love to see, and I think it's a little late into the game, but I really want to see an achievement system. I know we've talked about this in the past already, but like, I think an achievement system, I know, love them or hate them, they're there, but they are a selling point to games now. They really are. They're a driving point to play certain games. Like I know you've experienced it. I've experienced myself, because it's like there's games like, I want to play that. Do I want to get it on the Switch, or do I want to get it on my PlayStation or my Xbox and get trophies or achievements? And it's like, but I could play it on the go, but I really want that trophy. So, and again, the trophies don't mean anything, but they're still there. And there's such an opportunity there too, man. Nintendo's got a real great system. They can use their franchises as mascots. They even have the Nintendo coin system that they have with like the My Nintendo profile. They could tie that in somehow. Like there's a real opportunity there, in my opinion. And as much as I don't think it'll happen, that would be one of the big things I want to see on the list. So,
no, that's fair, and I completely agree with you. And I've told you this before. We have the perfect opportunity to call them badges.
Yep.
You know, because Nintendo has had their games that have these badges that you can get and everything that equate to in-game trophies and stuff. Perfect opportunity. And then not only that though, but I can actually count on it, you know, more than two hands, the amount of times I've chosen a game on PlayStation over Switch just due to the fact that it had trophy support.
Yep.
And maybe that says I'm shallow. Maybe that says I'm weak-minded and weak-willed. I don't know. But at the same time, and I'll just say this though, while I do love the Switch, it's also not my favorite Nintendo console that Nintendo has done. And I don't, you know, typically prefer, you know, playing it that much anyway, unless, you know, Nintendo does release a big AAA game, so I kind of gravitate towards my PlayStation anyway. So
fair. I like my Switch for the aspect of it being portable. Like as much as I would like to play on a TV and stuff like that, I use my Switch more when I'm on the go or when I'm traveling. And it's just a thing of, I don't like, I honestly, if I still had my Steam Deck, I'd probably play that over my Switch. Just because, again, I have full PC support and all that, but, you know, I'm not saying the achievement system there is any better than PlayStation or something, but it's like, I don't know, it's just better hardware, better upgrades to it. But when I do travel right now, the Switch is the first thing I'm grabbing. Like I've usually got that with me. So, but that would be my first pick. What's the first thing you want to see, or what's the one upgrade you would want? Unless you have something else you want to go over.
Oh no, what you just said actually kind of segues into what I want to say and everything, and you know, and that is I prefer using the Steam Deck over the Switch whenever I'm on the go and everything. And this is a feature that I hope they fix for the Switch 2, and this is one of the reasons why I prefer my Steam Deck over my Switch, and that is because of comfortability. The Switch is uncomfortable to play. It's uncomfortable to hold. The Joy-Cons, I hate them. I hate the Joy-Cons. They're terrible controllers. I really hope Nintendo just like add some little quality of life features to make the Switch 2 more comfortable to hold. Specifically, you know, the Steam Deck has grips on. Well, I don't know what you could call it. I guess a grip on the back.
They're just fuller grips.
Yeah, it's form-fitting to your hands.
Yeah.
And that's what the Switch is lacking.
So I think I sent you that video, the last Switch 2 kind of reveal, and it showed off like features of the Switch, but did you see how it had detachable grips to the Joy-Cons?
Detachable grips.
Yeah, so I'll have to see if I can find that video and send it to you. But there is a grip on Amazon you can buy. I did see this a while ago and I thought it was very clever. But
Oh,
it's
I know what you're talking about now. Yes,
but yeah,
yes,
the
yes,
little pieces that come off the Joy-Cons, you can snap them on,
yes.
it just fills out the sides. Like,
Hmm.
I think that's gonna be, if that is true. Again, we don't know for sure. I would doubt it. Personally, just being on like day one, this is what it comes with. Like, I would be surprised because
Yeah.
that's just smaller pieces that are gonna get lost. But I could see it being, third party for sure. But I think that would
Oh
be a
yeah.
good solution to filling out the Joy-Con. But I agree. I like the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck because of how it feels in my hand. Like, it's easier to hold. It's more comfortable.
Hmm.
But the Nitro deck that I got, I love that thing because that makes it feel like a Steam Deck. Like, I need to bring that to you one day so you can see it. So when it comes to the comfortability of it, though, this Nintendo has a real opportunity with the Nitro deck. Like, it's a third-party accessory, but I really want you to check that thing out because that really turns the Switch into what feels like a Steam Deck, and it's just super
Hmm.
comfortable. I really like that thing. I know it's third-party. I know Nintendo doesn't want to abandon their Joy-Cons, but that's probably one of the best accessories I've found for the Switch. And I'm going to bring that to you someday because I really want you to try that. I think that's something you'd be impressed by.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely have to see what all the hubbub is about. So, well, let's move on then. What is another feature, if any, that you're excited for the Switch 2 to have? You hope that it has, because I mean, let's be honest. You and I have seen the video.
Oh yeah.
So, is
So
there is there anything in particular?
there's a couple things I still have that I would love to see. The problem is I know the next one I have we're not going to see. But I
Okay, and what would
think
that be?
but I think it's a great opportunity for Nintendo, and it's something I really think they should do. Is with modern PCs nowadays, we have an opportunity to do an external GPU. You can actually have like an old laptop or something like that, and you can plug it into this box that has a new 3080 or a 4080, 4090, whatever, these new video cards, and it'll give that old PC new power from that new video card. And I think the dock gives a great opportunity for the Nintendo Switch to have an external GPU. And I know Nintendo likes to go by the beat of their own drum. They don't want to do, you know, Zelda in 4K, 120 frames. They don't want realistic Zelda or realistic Mario, and that's fine. But it gives them an opportunity to try and close that gap between where they are and where they could be.
Hmm.
And it still gives them their opportunity to do their handheld, so you can take the system on the go and still play at the level they are now. But for the hardcore gamers or the people that want to do a little bit more, you know, they can plug it into their dock that has that, not necessarily a 3080 or anything like that, but just a more powerful GPU,
Yeah.
and give them that opportunity to play Zelda or, Elder Scrolls or any of these games, or maybe even Doom, like the new Doom and stuff like that, and put it on better hardware, to where, maybe they can implement their own quality or performance mode or something along those lines. But I think an external power source for the system would be a good thing to see.
No, I don't think that's a bad idea. I like how you said bridge the gap though, but like clearly Nintendo also doesn't have a bridge to gap because I don't. We talked about this a little bit, but like the Switch has officially outsold the PS2 in America.
Yeah,
It is their best selling console. So
yeah, but it
well,
it
actually has it outsold the Wii yet? I
uh
imagine it has.
I thought it was one of the best selling consoles now, to be honest. I don't know. I need to pull up that stat though, like on what's what.
Hmm.
But I mean, we've talked about it before. Nintendo kind of does their own thing, and anyone that says there's still a console war is just wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like that forward when I come to that statement, but it's like, it's true. There's no console war anymore. Nintendo's not competing, Microsoft's doing their own thing, Sony's doing their own thing. Like, it's not
Hmm.
like Microsoft and Sony are competing anymore. Microsoft's doing everything as an Xbox. Sony's, we're following tradition, we're doing our thing, and we're just going to deliver great games. Nintendo's never
Yep.
been like, let's compete with Sony and Microsoft with graphics. No, let's just keep making AAA titles that are going to sell like crazy.
Yep.
So they don't
And it
need to.
works.
I mean, it does, but they don't need to do these games that are like, hey, let's make Zelda at 4K 120. Let's just make
Hmm.
Zelda a phenomenal game But let's cater to some of these older gamers that maybe want more performance or better graphics. I'm not saying it has to be above and beyond, but let's take a step forward at least and see what we can do with it. I mean, there's obviously potential, but I would like to see Nintendo, like I said, they don't really have to go, they're not trying to compete. We're not trying to fight in this console war anymore. Now it's basically, we just have 3 opportunities for, do we want to play on Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation? Like, I just like to see Nintendo not compete, but maybe close that gap. We've seen Nintendo in the same space for so long. I just want to see them do a little bit more. So that's my stance on it. I would just like to see the next step from Nintendo. And I think that external GPU would be a good way to get that foot in the door for Nintendo.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I think that's definitely some wishful thinking on your part, though.
100%. Sadly, 100%. But that was my second point, man. What's your second one? What's the next thing you'd like to see, or hopefully would like to see?
Man, honestly, this is the biggest gripe that I have with the Switch, and I kind of alluded to it in my first talking point. Uh, we need something better than the Joy-Cons we currently have. The
Yep.
Joy-Cons we currently have are a joke. The whole stick drift lawsuit and everything like that, which Nintendo won, by the way. Um, that was a bit ridiculous in my
Yeah.
opinion. The connectivity issues that they have, like, no joke. You can see back behind me. You can see the couch.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sitting on the couch, the TV is actually like just right up here next to me. It's not that far across in the room. I will have issues with my Joy-Con connecting from the couch to the Switch just from this short of a distance.
That's weird.
That should not be happening.
No, agreed. No,
So,
I've been fortunate enough to not have not many issues with disconnectivity. I don't even know if that's really a word, but like I haven't had
it is
issues.
today.
I haven't had that many issues of my Joy-Cons disconnecting from the Switch. Like there's been a couple times, and I mean it happens to everybody. Obviously, stick drift is the much bigger issue nowadays. Like it doesn't matter
Mhm.
what console you're on, you're dealing or have dealt with stick drift. But I agree, the Joy-Cons are kind of the weak point of the Switch. Like they're not comfortable
Mhm.
to hold. They're too tiny. I get it. We're adults, we have adult size hands, and the Joy-Cons aren't really geared towards us. But I mean, that is what it is. But
Yeah.
now with that being said, have you seen all of the leaks and the possibly confirmed stuff?
Mhm.
From what you've seen, are you intrigued or interested in what they've done with the new stuff, or?
So, assuming the leaks are real, which let's be honest, I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
assuming the leaks are real, they do look larger than a normal size Joy-Con, so that's
Mm-hmm.
already a win right there. You have the face buttons on the top of a Joy-Con whenever you're holding it sideways.
Yep.
Uh, they look larger as well.
The shoulder
So,
buttons.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's it looks like it's a step in the right direction. I guess it's just more of a thing of, are we going to have connectivity issues? And, is stick drift going to continue to be a big issue?
Well, so again, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but from what I have seen, they are using Hall Effect joysticks.
Really?
Yeah, now Hall Effect, the way they're actually designed is they use magnets to detect what the direction and movement is. So they're actually
Huh.
not able to get stick drift.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been seeing Hall Effect sticks in all sorts of things, and they are much better joysticks. Because of the
Mhm.
magnets, they literally cannot get stick drift. It's kind of like when Microsoft re-released the 360, and they were like, "Oh, it literally can't get the red ring of death because they took out the red light." So like
Yeah.
but they actually solved the problem with Hall Effect. So it's like these will not get stick drift, but it will. What other? I don't want to talk bad about them because I know Hall
Mhm.
Effect sticks are good, but it's like what other issues could possibly come up? Like what could
Could
be the
arise
next?
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but not necessarily joysticks. I'm talking like anything with the Joy-Cons. Could there be battery issues? Could there be disconnection issues? Stuff like that. The one
Mhm.
thing I'm kind of intrigued of, honestly, and Nintendo always seems to do just one thing that's just so off the wall. And there's always been one thing with every one of these systems. Have you seen the optical sensor?
Yes, I did actually, and
So
that was interesting.
they're turning it into a mouse essentially.
Yeah.
So we might get that. keyboard, or that controller and mouse controller action on a Switch, which is, I think it's neat.
They need to re-release the Super Nintendo mouse.
I mean, maybe. Hey, actually, maybe we'll see a new Mario Paint.
Maybe. Well, I was thinking more along the lines of you could use it in the Clock Tower remake.
There you go. Yeah, the controls are kind of weird on that one, and maybe they'll be better with just point and clicks in general. But man, I didn't actually think of that. I would love to see a new Mario Paint. That was a lot of fun back in the day, man. It was simplistic, but you could do a lot with those tools, man.
It is definitely better than Mario is Missing. I'll give it that, man.
Man, I love that game. I know it's not.
Wait, did you really?
I really did. I think it's Mario. Yeah, no, it was Mario's Missing. It was so goofy, man. But I was a kid, and it was something to play. It was fun.
No, that's fair. No, I remember I got that and Bart's Nightmare. And I played Bart's Nightmare infinitely more than I did Mario is Missing.
Man, I actually put a lot of time into Mario's Missing, but I was so young also, like I didn't understand a lot of the stories that you had to complete. So 90% of it was just me throwing in random words, just trying to figure out the story. So
you're just like, I don't know what the capital of Russia is, Luigi.
But yeah, no, I love that. But I don't know. I'd like to, maybe we'll see a new Mario Paint, or maybe they'll do some new stuff with just the sensor that, we haven't seen yet. So who knows? We'll see. But I thought that was an interesting take on it. But I agree. I think the Joy-Cons are the one thing that definitely need the most work. From the leaks, I don't think we're going to get a huge rework on that stuff. But with new joysticks, hopefully we'll have better quality Joy-Cons for sure. So.
No, that's fair. So, unless you have another talking point about, hardware and everything that you want to see, I'm going to kind of guide us into our next little segment here. And this is going to be a small segment in between hardware and, upcoming games that we would like to see. So do you have any other talking points, or do you feel like you've said your piece?
I've got one more. It's not really hardware-wise. It is software-based. But the one thing I'd really like to see, and it kind of leads into this, but I'd like to see Nintendo do a full service on retro games. Give us a streaming service, or a subscription service, I should say, but give us access to all of these retro games, man. Stop doing this, Nintendo Online, where you give us 5-6 games and a couple remixes. Like, just unlock the full library the best you can. I know there's always licensing issues, but if, $20 a month, you get access to every regular, Super, Game Boy, GBA. For $30, you'll do 64 and GameCube. Like, just come on. Like, this is if they don't need to print money any more than they already do. But if they want to, man, I think giving access to nostalgia and retro gamers, that's going to be the way to do it. So,
well, I'm going to be honest with you. If it's not something that launches on the Switch 2 for NSO, I see it happening within at least a year of the Switch 2 being out, and that is GameCube coming to NSO.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that's absolutely going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope it does, but I would really, if they're going to keep with the NSO style subscription for these retro games, I just would like to see them amp it up and give us more.
Instead of this drip feeding, like, here's Donkey Kong Land 1.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The following week, Donkey Kong Land 2. Oh.
And then a random game that came out in Japan that isn't translated or anything along those lines. So, like, it's just like, I don't know, give us a service. Like, if you, like, again, you don't need to make more money, Nintendo. I get it. You guys are doing well, but, like, this would be a way to do it. Yeah. I mean, if you want to make it free, that's fine. But no, like, I think this would be a great opportunity to really let us dig back into these nostalgia games. There's old regular Nintendo games that I would love to play again, but I don't want to pay $400 or $500 for them. I don't want to pay $400 for a copy of Earthbound. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Well, like, I think that would be the one thing I would like to see more than anything.
No, I agree with you. I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. But well, again, this is a hopes and dreams episode, Chandler. Don't take this away from me.
I'm taking it all away. All the hopes and all the dreams. None of them.
But like I said, that does lead into the next topic, is kind of games that we're either hoping we'll see or games we're expecting to see. So I'll let you kind of take the lead on this one, man. So what's the first game you hope or you expect to see on the Switch 2?
Man, let's be honest. there's going to be a new 3D Mario.
Oh, of course.
Like they have had to have one in the pipeline for a while now. Mario's a console seller. We haven't gotten a brand new 3D Mario since Odyssey, and that was back in 2017 whenever the Switch launched. So we're overdue, to say the least.
No, for sure. And I do think we'll see a 3D Mario very early in the life cycle. Like I think that's something that will happen.
Yeah, no, either I see it being at launch or it being an October or November game, right before the holiday season, because, you know, nothing says Christmas like waking up and unwrapping Mario Odyssey 2. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd be okay with that. There's some things I'd really like reworked with Odyssey. But I really enjoyed Odyssey. So like if they did a Odyssey 2, like that's something I would be very excited about.
Uh, no, I can't disagree with that. I would prefer Galaxy 3, but, that's
Man,
never going to happen.
I've never dug into the Galaxy games a lot. Like I played the first one and I just wasn't impressed. I don't even think I messed with the second one.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I never got into them. I have the 3D All-Stars Switch version, so I mean I have Galaxy on there. I could
Dude,
dig into it,
Galaxy.
try it, but I just never got into it.
No, I'm not even joking whenever I say Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I love Galaxy, dude, and Galaxy 2 is just as good, so.
Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to check them out because my one of my buddies actually just said he started playing Galaxy and he really enjoyed it. He was surprised because he was in the same boat. Like he didn't care for it originally, so maybe I need to give it a fair shot. So
I highly encourage it. So,
fair
but
enough.
anyway, what's a game that you expect to see or that you hope to see, either at launch or within, relatively close to launch of the Switch 2?
So as much as I want this to be, I expect to see this. This is just me clawing at the, reaching for the fences kind of thing, and it's definitely a hope. We need a new Star Fox. Like, I don't know if it's really a we need a new Star Fox or I need a new Star Fox, but I just want to see Star Fox. It's been a very long time. The last one we don't really talk about too much.
Yeah.
I would like to see Star Fox get the love and treatment, like the classic one or Star Fox 64. We don't need Assault. Like Adventure was okay. I want a proper Star Fox game. And I feel like we're at this day and age where, if they want to bring the gyro controls back, even though I'm not a fan, like it's great on the Switch, they could do that. They could even do motion controls with the Joy-Cons and kind of give a little bit more depth that way. But I just want a good Star Fox, or give me a solid port of Star Fox 64. But let's start looking at some other franchises, Nintendo. You've got a lot of them, but you really keep hammering the same ones over and over and over. So let's kind of expand and see what else we've got. So that's my first pick when it comes to games I would hope to see.
I don't know, man. That's my thing is like, and we've talked about it before. I've never been a big Star Fox person.
Yeah.
The one that I have the most experience with is actually the first one for Super Nintendo.
Yep.
64, I have very limited experience with. I have been wanting to hop into it now that I got my 64 controller for my Switch.
Nice.
And Star Fox 64 is on NSO, so I've been
Yep.
wanting to try it out. But in my opinion, though, I feel like something that would benefit the Star Fox franchise and what would pull me in as somebody who, doesn't have a fondness for it or, you know, much of an interest in it, is if they leaned more heavily into the roguelike elements that it has.
I mean, fair. I think that, so, I mean, yeah, because that's a good point. Like, the one thing with Star Fox 64, because I grew up, I mean, I still have my Super Nintendo copy, and I have my 64 copy. And I fell in love with 64. Because I remember if I was playing my 64, it was one of two games. It was either Star Fox or Banjo-Kazooie. Like, those two games were the ones that I probably put the most time in on the 64. And I remember having the strategy guide when strategy guides were a thing. But I remember going every route and doing every single thing, unlocking the special bosses or the special routes, all that stuff. And it gets to a point where you're kind of doing the same things over and over and over. So I think a roguelike aspect to it, randomizing it a bit, I think that would make that a lot more interesting. So I agree. That would be something I would be very interested in checking out. I mean, that's coming
And
from someone that put a ridiculous amount of time in the Binding of Isaac, so
yeah,
randomization's my thing for sure.
and that's the thing too is Nintendo, kind of has, all of their games where they're specific genre of game, but they have their own unique twist on it. And Star Fox could be their entry into the roguelike genre, like Pikmin is its RTS type game,
Yeah,
Splatoon is its third person shooter. So they could really lean heavily into it and they could make something special out of it.
I'd be interested. I'd be very interested in that. Like if they added a roguelike aspect to it, I mean, again, it doesn't matter if they. I mean, they can print a box that just says Star Fox on it, and I'm gonna be looking at that box like, all right, that's coming home with me regardless.
It's
So,
it's just Starlink too.
hey, in all fairness, like, hold on.
Oh,
I have
you have your R wing.
I have the R wing from Starlink. So like, don't judge me. And
Oh man,
I only bought it to own that. Like, I
no,
played
that's
the
fair.
game. I played the game a little bit. I was like, this is interesting, but it's not, what I want. So, but yeah, no, I would be interested in like just another Star Fox. I'd like to see more of that. So that would be my first hopeful right there. But what's the next one for you, man?
Man, so for my first hopeful, because I talked about a 3D Mario. That's not really a hopeful thing. I know that's going to come down the pipeline.
For sure.
It's a given. But my first hopeful, man, and you already probably know what it's going to be, but it
Yep.
is time for a new Donkey Kong. I cannot stress that enough. It is time for a new Donkey Kong Country.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I'm with you.
Donkey. Oh yeah, Donkey Kong has had such, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A forefront and center presence here lately with Nintendo. We got Donkey Kong was one of the main characters in the Mario movie. We have Donkey Kong Land coming at Nintendo World. Uh, Nintendo's been randomly dropping old Donkey Kong games on NSO and on the
Yep.
music app for some reason. Like just yesterday, I was driving home and I get a notification from the Nintendo Music app saying, "Hey, we added the Donkey Kong Country 3 soundtrack." Like, what's with all the Donkey Kong but no new Donkey Kong game? It's frustrating.
I mean, I think it's in the works, man. I feel like that is something that we are gonna see. I think it's a hopeful, but I think we're due for a new Donkey Kong as well.
Well, there's been rumors for years now that the team that did Odyssey, which I believe is Nintendo EDP, if
Okay.
I am correct in that, I don't know. I could be wrong in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on
But
that one.
apparently, there's been rumors that they have been working on a 3D Donkey Kong, or that they have, finished a 3D Donkey Kong game, which we haven't gotten a 3D Donkey Kong since Donkey Kong 64. So
Okay.
that could be interesting, and I wouldn't mind seeing a 3D Donkey Kong, especially just because of some of the traversal options that you could have in an open world Donkey Kong game. That would be a lot of fun.
So would you prefer a new 3D option, or would you rather see another 2D option?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be torn up either way.
Okay.
Uh, I would love to see a proper sequel to Tropical Freeze. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's Retro's wheelhouse, and Retro currently has their hands tied with Metroid Prime 4.
Yep.
So I I think that Retro should stick to the 2D Donkey Kongs, and if Nintendo wants to have another studio take the helm and do a 3D one and everything, I won't complain. Honestly, I don't have a preference either way. I'll just
Okay.
take a new Donkey Kong game.
As
So,
long as it's on the box, that's all that matters.
yep, so long as there is a big brown ape on the box, then then it is sold. I will buy it immediately. I mean, heck, I don't know if you've seen this, but Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is coming out here soon for the
Yep.
Nintendo Switch, and it has been receiving some backlash.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, because the company that is handling the port, people are complaining about the graphics and frame rate and how it's actually worse than the Wii version of the game.
Ooh.
Yeah, personally though, whenever I watch like the side by side, video comparisons, I don't see a difference, but I'm also not a graphics snob. And as far as frame rate goes, so long as it's not making me motion sick, then I'm fine. And
Fair
so long
enough.
as it's not choppy, I'm fine. the thing that I would definitely say that caught my eye the most is that in the comparison video in the Switch version, there was bad texture pop in, but that could also
Hmm.
just be, early footage. So,
Fair. I mean,
but regardless, I'm going to get it.
yeah, I
So,
mean, we're pretty close to the release date though, man. Like I don't feel like they're at this point they're not demonstrating alpha or beta builds. Like we're seeing like pretty close to release footage. So I mean, I haven't seen anything on that. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up.
yeah, honestly, the best one you can check is go onto YouTube and pull up Game Explain.
Okay.
They have a side by side and they break it down and everything, and they do a
Okay.
pretty good job of it. So,
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I hadn't seen anything on that. But I agree. Like if I mean, I wouldn't be too picky either, but I'm old school. I prefer the old 2D Donkey Kongs. Like I like Tropical Freeze. I like I mean Country Returns, all that stuff. So, but
mhm.
if there was a 3D one, I would check it out too.
No,
But
I think you should.
I mean, yeah, I'm not against it for sure. But kind of switching track there. I'm gonna go to my last pick, and this is a hopeful for sure. But or actually, it's not my last pick. It's second to last. Sorry. But like I grew up with the GameCube era and stuff like that. You know, I grew up. I mean, I grew up with the regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and all that. But I feel like GameCube is one that obviously Nintendo just doesn't seem to do a lot with.
Mhm.
They have a lot of great games on there, man. And two of my favorite games, I'm gonna cheat, I guess, because I'm gonna throw two games out here. But like one of my favorite games for the GameCube was Custom Robo. I don't know if you ever played that one, but that was one of my favorite. Like it was kind of like a mech building fighting game. Like I loved it. But the one I really want to see more than anything is I would love to see them do something with Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
agree.
like survival horrors are been our thing. We love horror games. I like I feel like there's a great opportunity here, and especially with modern technology. That game was crazy with the things that it did, where it tricked you and made you think you were going crazy, quote unquote, or like it was getting in your head. Like modern day games nowadays, or like with the system disconnect, like being portable and stuff like that. Like there's so much they could do. So I would
Hmm.
love to see them do something with Eternal Darkness. And I remember we talked about this recently that Silicon Knights was the studio that developed the original, and I think you actually told me how they were trying to get the rights back from Nintendo before the studio shut down. So I mean,
Yeah,
there's obviously an interest in wanting to do something with it, which to me is exciting. But it's like I would hope Nintendo would actually run with it. Like let's do something with Eternal Darkness. Like
man, the first thing I thought for an insanity effect for if they, like let's just say they made it, let's just say they remade the first one for the Switch 2.
okay.
A new insanity effect making you think that your Joy-Con has drift.
I mean, I think
And
that would
now it's a
happen for sure.
feature.
I think it would happen for sure. But I mean, there's like a bunch of cool things they could do. In all fairness, like they could pop up and go into your Switch menu and just start doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Like
Mhm.
it could pop up the Switch menu and pull up a fake Nintendo store and make it think it's just buying like thousands of dollars worth of games. Or it could go into your photos and start like it could pull up a couple photos and it could alter them right there in front of you. Or I
Mhm.
mean, it could just do all sorts of these really cool things, and it's like,
Man, you said that though, like it opens up your home screen and everything, and it's just like, oh, we're on your home screen. Oh, you're not subscribed to NSO? Oh, well, guess what, buddy? You're about to be.
you got a 10-year subscription now. So,
And it's the family one.
yep. But like, I don't know, they could do a lot of things that really kind of get in your head, and I like that franchise. I really feel like needs some love because that was a great game, and I think nowadays there's a lot of creative people out there. I think they could do some real cool stuff with it. So that would be my number two pick for sure.
There we go. So, well, for my number two pick, and this is a hopeful one, but man, it's time for a new Wario Land.
Fair enough.
I am ready for a new Wario Land. It has been so long since we have gotten one. The last one we got was Shake It for the Wii, which Not the best Wario Land, but it's definitely not bad. I do enjoy that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it is time to go back, especially with this big resurgence we've had in Wario Land like games such as Pizza Tower and Anton Blast, which are both fantastic. If you haven't checked them out, I recommend everybody to do so, and they're like $20 a piece. So they're you can get them cheap. They're absolutely worth it.
Yep.
So it's time for a new Wario Land.
Yeah,
You talked.
you talked about Pizza Tower for a long time, so I agree with you. I believe you on that one for sure.
Oh yeah, and then that's the thing, man. Is you talk about wanting to stick to some 2D side scrollers and everything. Wario Land is a great 2D side scroller, and I believe it would be a great addition to the Switch too.
Okay. I mean, so I haven't been too much into the Wario Land games. The last one I played and I loved it. I couldn't stop playing that was WarioWare DIY. Like to
Hmm.
me those were a lot of fun because you could actually dig into the like make your own WarioWare games and you boxed them up on little video game cartridges and sold them and they tracked how many sales you got and stuff like that. I love that stuff.
Man, see, and I like the WarioWare franchise, but I'm ready for a return to form.
Yeah, no, I mean land and where were two different things for sure, but
Yeah.
I get it. But no, I mean, hopefully we'll see something like that because, like you said, it's been a bit since we've seen a proper Wario Land game. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw something on that though.
Yeah.
But kind of getting back to my last pick. This is definitely a personal one for me. I grew up with these games, and I would love to see some more love for these games. I'd love to see a new one, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But the Monster Rancher series.
Hmm.
I am through and through. I'm a huge fan of these games. I grew up with these games. I think they're great monster like creature collection style games, and you get to battle them and stuff like that. But they just did. I say just. It's been a couple years, but they remade 1 and 2 deluxe editions, and they released it on the Switch. They also released it on PC, but those are the only two platforms that got it. And
Hmm.
then they also made Monster Rancher Kaiju, where you got to raise your own Godzilla style monster, like the giant kaiju, and you got to raise and battle them and stuff like that. So they're obviously doing something with them. I
Yeah.
would love to see a 3 and 4 deluxe edition bundle, because those were really good games too. But I would love to see them just make 5, like, or I guess they did 5. That was Evo, but like, give us a new entry into the Monster Rancher franchise. Give us some new monsters. Give us online capability. Give us some way of co-op. I mean, with games like Pal World and stuff like that, there's definitely potential for them. So I'd love to see something with the Monster Rancher franchise.
I'll tell you what, if they make a new one, I'll pick up a copy and we can try it together if they add some co-op stuff and everything, and we can play it together.
There we go. I know.
Especially since I've never played Monster Rancher, so.
So 1 and 2 Deluxe has like an online battle system. I don't know if I don't know how in depth because I know you could upload your monsters to Tecmo servers and they would do like online championships and stuff like that. So there is some kind of
Okay.
battling system, but that is a game like I don't know how much I know you like the Pokemon games and stuff like that, but like I don't know how much you would be into this one, but I would at least like to see you try it cuz I think you would enjoy it. I just don't know how much in depth you would get into it. So,
Man, probably not much, especially since like my enjoyment for Pokemon is baseline. So,
yeah. No, I know, like I said, I know you like them, but it's not like you're not avid over them.
yeah.
So, I get it. But I think this one, it's not Pokemon in the sense it's drawn out. This is more about the grind of raising them. You train
Mhm.
them, you feed them, you make sure that you're buffing certain stats and controlling that, and then you just raise to battle them. So,
Well, I'm sure I have a Tomodachi somewhere. Not or
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. Tomodachi's the Nintendo game. A Tom. I'm sure I have a Tamagotchi somewhere that would disagree with you getting me into these games because it's probably speaking from beyond its grave.
It's probably way dead at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my third pick. That's gonna be my last one. So
Oh, okay. Well, for my last one, and I know this one is going to kind of come across as a shocker to you a little bit, aside from the fact that you also kind of know because this is the second time we've recorded this episode.
yep,
But
we won't talk about that.
yeah, but that is Punch Out.
Yep.
I would love to see a new Punch Out. The last one we got was on the Wii, I believe, in 2009,
Good
and it
lord.
was a solid title,
It was
man.
so
I
much fun.
loved it. Oh, it was
Same.
great.
Those games are so
I,
much fun, man.
oh yeah, and I know they got a lot of flack for it and backlash because, you know, the older titles, there's a lot of stereotyping with their characters, and Nintendo was like, "Hey, what they, they were talking to Level Five whenever Level Five was making Punch Out for the Wii, and they were like, "Hey, make sure that you're not stereotyping these characters and everything." And Level Five was like, "Yeah, no, we did our best and everything," but then they still got accused of stereotyping, and granted, I haven't played it in a while, so there could be some there. It could be
Yeah.
stereotyping some characters, uh, but I haven't played it since I was a kid. And of course, as a kid, you don't notice anything like that.
No,
So
I mean, I remember when that game came out. I don't remember thinking anything like that, but I mean, it's not something I look for. Like I start a game up because I want to play an enjoyable game, so it's not anything I'm really looking for. But no,
yeah,
I love the Punch Out games. I mean, I grew up on the regular Nintendo one. The Wii one caught me off guard. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. And I remember
hmm
spending a lot of time playing that game. So I'm with you. I'd love
dude,
to see a new Punch Out.
it's funny because I didn't even know that Punch Out for the Wii was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I just went over to my dad's house one weekend whenever he picked up me and my sister, and he was like, "Look what I got!" And he was more excited about it than I was, and I was like, because I had played the original Punch Out at that point in
Yeah.
time, uh, but he was like, "Oh, I love Punch Out so much," da 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 da, and I was like, "Okay, Dad, all right." And then I started playing it, and I was like, "This game is amazing!
You know what you're talking about for once.
I believe in you now, Father." Except for the time you said you were going to get milk, and that you would be right back.
He was waiting for Punch Out. That's all it
Oh, that's
was.
what
It
I have
was
returned
Nintendo.
my son
It was
with Little
Nintendo's
Mac.
fault, or Level Five's fault, I guess. So,
Yep.
but no, that is one like I would love to see that. I would love to see a new Punch Out, man. Like, I mean, obviously with the love that Little Mac got with the amiibo, and obviously he's in Smash Bros and stuff like that. Who knows? We could be hopeful.
Yep.
We never know.
Fingers crossed, that's for sure.
At this rate, it seems like we'll know a lot more here in the next few weeks. I mean, we got some showcases coming up. We actually just talked about earlier today. Maybe Nintendo will announce a direct sometime soon, and
Hmm.
with all these leaks and everything, maybe Nintendo's just gonna say, maybe we should just say something now. Let's just get it out and over with. You know,
I'm surprised they haven't already, honestly.
I am too. In all fairness, like at this point, everyone's just waiting on Nintendo to just be like, "Hey, so this is a thing." It's kind of like with Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 6. Like
Yep.
everybody knew about it, and it was just like, "All right, Rockstar, are you gonna say anything, or what's going on?" So like, we're kind of in the same boat with Nintendo.
Yep. No. So, hopefully we'll be seeing something soon because I can't contain my excitement anymore, man. I got to see what games we got coming out this year because right now, just in general, there's some good games coming out this year, but it feels kind of barren so far.
Well,
Um,
yeah, but we are in that beginning month. Like how it
I
is
know.
this time of year. Usually everyone's recouping from the holidays. We're in the end of the fiscal years for a lot of businesses, so we're getting to that point where it's like, all right, so this is the planning phase for 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we still got a lot of things coming up. I don't know if you saw earlier today, they announced Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed to March 20th now.
Yep. I saw that.
So we're in this phase of like, all right, we got a plan for the year. Obviously, we'll get announcements, we'll have releases, but like Summer Game Fest is what's going to set us up for the holidays, and then obviously, like, we've got a lot coming. But right now, I agree, it feels barren with what's coming out.
Hmm.
But there is a lot over the horizon. We just got to figure out. I think honestly, we need to just figure out when GTA 6 is coming out, so everyone else can put down whatever days they're going to release.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to come out around that time frame.
Yeah. No, I think my biggest thing is like with all the announcements that have been made for this year for what's coming out. I don't have anything that's really stuck out to me yet and has been like that's going to be my game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year for me, it was Astrobot, even though it didn't end up being my game of the year, but that's because I got, blindsided by Silent Hill 2 remake. um, but like the closest thing that I have this year so far is Ghost of Yotai or Yotei, however it's pronounced. I haven't bothered looking it up yet. Uh, I think that so far is, the one that I'm just excited for the most because Xbox has all these games coming out, but we also don't know when they're coming out. So,
Yep. No, I think I actually we posted on Twitter about it, but I agree. I think Xbox has a phenomenal year ahead of them. There's
hmm
a lot of big titles coming out for them. It's just how are they gonna do it? I want to see. I'm tired of this Xbox as a service. We've
yeah,
talked about it before. Everything's an Xbox. You can play on your Samsung TV. You can play on your PC. You can play on your actual Xbox. You can play on your toaster. You can play on your phone. Everything's an Xbox. And I understand where they're coming from, but as someone who's been doing this for 40 something years, I want to continue the way I've been doing it.
yeah.
We don't need the change. It's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. If you want to
Yep, I agree
expand,
100%. So
if
I guess we'll see where that goes and everything. But,
but yeah, if you want to
you know,
expand,
just,
kudos, but you don't have to. That's all I want
yeah,
to say is you don't have to. Things were going well on their own. Just give us games. That's what
yep.
they need to focus on right now. But that's that. I'll leave it at that. That could be a whole other or another episode for us if we really wanted it to. So
Oh, honestly, yeah, it could. So, but we'll get there in due time. We'll get
oh
there in
yeah.
due time. So, well, did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on before we wrap this up? Any last minute things you want to throw in about the Switch 2 or
No,
just Nintendo in general?
no, I am excited for the Switch 2. I mean, from what we've seen, obviously it's a bigger console comparatively to the original Switch, so I am excited for that because I like the design of the Switch Lite better than I do the actual Switch because it's a more solid
hmm
design, but I've always wanted a bigger version of it, something a little bit bigger, and the Switch 2 will get that. So I'm excited to see that. But I'm ready to see the reveal. And for you guys listening on the podcast, this is something we will plan out. But obviously, once we get an official announcement, if they do a direct, hopefully we'll be able to do a watch party or we'll do a live watch of the direct. So if we can make it live, we'll do a live stream of the direct. If not, we'll do a recorded episode so you guys can see our reaction to the reveal. But hopefully we can help share and spread some of this information on the Switch 2 when it releases. But we also have plans for the Xbox showcase. Was that the 23rd?
23rd.
So on the 23rd, there's going to be an Xbox showcase, and hopefully we'll be able to do a live reaction on that one too. But any of this information, guys, if there's something you guys want to see, you need to let us know. Comment down below in the YouTube comments or on Twitter, anywhere. But let us know what you want to see. Just so we can kind of bring this content to you guys, first place, up front and first. So,
Yeah. Now, just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying there at the end, we do this for fun.
mm-hmm.
That, this isn't something that we, strive to be, just full time podcasters and stuff like that, even though you see that all the time now. And would that be nice to be able to always make content for you guys? Absolutely. Uh, but that's the thing though is we are kind of selfish in that we also do it for ourselves. We just enjoy doing this. It's something fun for us to do, but I also just enjoy entertaining people, and so the fact that y'all even watch us brings joy to my heart. And so, like Andy was saying, hop down in the comments, let us know what you would like to see, what you would like to see us discuss. Do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe. You know how the old adage goes. You've
Yep.
heard it for years now. Uh, share with your friends, share with your family, so that way we can, entertain more people and you can bring more joy to my heart. I'll be selfish about it. Bring more joy to my heart.
But more importantly, too, give us feedback. Is there
Yeah,
something we're doing,
absolutely.
something we need to be doing? You don't like, the backgrounds. You don't like just whatever. Give us, be upfront and let us know. The only way we're gonna learn is by listening to you guys. And I mean, some of it may be good, some of it may be bad. So, but more
Yep.
importantly, again, we just appreciate your time. That's really what it boils down to, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in today's world, and you're taking a good hour of your time to spend it with us. All we can say is thank you. We appreciate
Yep.
you. So,
So, well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode. Once again, thank you all for so much for watching, and remember to stay uncultured. We'll see you next time.